Idaho. I live in Washington. Long story short, I chose to represent myself. Here's a small piece of what transpired. It's audio only. Been watching until we start getting some traction here.
Mr. Condi, I'd like to visit with you for a minute. I just learned that your attorney, Mr. Zollinger, apparently is conducting a jury trial in a different county right now, and so can't. I doubt that. Well, have you had time to talk to him yet?
I didn't answer. I'm
Mr. Condi, have you met with Mr. Zollinger yet?
I have not. I've tried to call him, and I thought his number was 1112, and it was 1122.
Right. Okay. So he cannot be here today. Mr. Miller, have you and Mr. Zollinger discussed this case at all?
Your Honor, I don't recall. We have not. No.
Well, I think we're just going to have to reset this. Before I find a date, Mr. Miller, is there anything that you need to place on the record for Mr. Condi's cases?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
This is me right here.
Okay, let me get a date from my clerk.
Here I come right here.
Mr. Condi, we're going to reset you for April 27th at 10 o'clock in the morning. It sounds like you now have Mr. Zollinger's accurate phone number, so try to get an appointment with him before the 27th, okay?
Your Honor, I would like to request something of the court. I would like to represent myself.
I can't. Well.
He was going to say, oh, I can't let... And I'm like, no. If I represent myself, you have to talk to me. The prosecution talked to me, and I'll address that right now. So here we go. I choose to represent myself. I have a fundamental understanding of the law. I will learn the court decorum, but I mean, according to, I'm just asking if I can represent myself.
Yeah, you can. You have.
Okay, now look. I've been in and out of the system. I mean, I'm pretty proud of my history, man. I've represented myself on, but that being said, the court still has to, address the issue. They got to make sure you're competent. So here we go.
Right. And I know you've been involved in a lot of cases over the years, going back a long time, both felony and misdemeanor. Do you understand that you'd be held to the same standard as an attorney?
Yes, sir.
And where that can get tricky is, for example, in a jury trial, that is very complicated. You're expected to know and understand the rules of evidence, the rules of procedure, the rules of discovery. There's a lot of statutory law that goes along with that, a lot of case law. I would say you're at a huge disadvantage. You have to know how to file motions. You have to know how to respond to motions.
This is me in court today. I went to court at 10 o'clock in Idaho. I'm representing myself, and this is him telling me, well, this is the judge talking about if he's going to allow me to represent myself or not.
You have to know what the deadlines are and the timelines, and you have to comply with a lot of different rules and regulations. If we end up in trial, you have to understand how to lay foundation to get evidence admitted. You have to know what objections to make and when to make them. Are you comfortable with all that?
Yes, Your Honor.
So,
well, the first and foremost reason, Your Honor, I would like to represent myself is that I get to ask questions in my own behalf. The prosecution gets to talk to me directly on the gross violation of the First Amendment, sir, and that's where I'm having an issue, is that my lawyers aren't wanting to represent me, and that's why I choose to represent myself, to present the briefs, rebuttal affidavit that my attorney never gave me the opportunity to present.
Wait just a second.
Like and share.
Why don't we do this? I've got a ton of cases on the calendar this morning.
And this is where you're going to go, hey, you know what? Just talk to this lawyer one time. You know, if you don't, I'm not going to like what he has to say because, you know what? They don't ever ask questions that need to be asked. It's just like, they should ask these cops, what gave you the legal right to come up to this person? Was he breaking the law? First and foremost, was that person breaking the law? And if they say no, then you know what? Everything stops right there because people need to remember what a fruit of a poisonous tree is. And this is why cops don't ever want to tell you what they did, the reason they pulled you over. If they tell you the reason they pulled you over was for this, and they didn't have the legal right to do that, everything that transpires after that action is fruit of a poisonous tree. So if their baseline was, hey, I came up here because we got a call on you, right? Well, was it me? Well, we thought it was. Was it me? Well, no, sorry, that was our mistake. But since we're here, and this is why you never consent. But here we go. Sorry, I digress. Sorry about that.
At least want you to talk to Mr. Zollinger one time before you decide for sure not to have an attorney, okay?
Yes, sir. I can do that.
So meet with Mr. Zollinger. If you still want to represent yourself, I will promise, for example, in a jury trial, that is very complicated. You're expected to know and understand the rules of evidence, the rules of procedure, the rules of discovery. There's a lot of statutory law that goes along with that, a lot of case law. I would say you're at a huge disadvantage.
Man, Google. We have Google, the best paralegal in the world.
You know, you have to know how to file motions. You have to know how to respond to motions. You have to know what the deadlines are and the timelines.
Again, Google, if you specifically ask the right question, you know, you guys are informed. They're just trying to treat us like idiots because we don't know what Google is.
And you have to comply with a lot of different rules and regulations.
I advise anybody that's hearing me speak, Google check, oh my goodness, rules of conduct when it comes to how they have to act on public property. Them, meaning law enforcement.
If we end up in trial, you have to understand how to lay foundations to get evidence submitted. You have to know what objections to make and when to make them. Are you comfortable with all that?
Yes, Your Honor.
So,
well, the first and foremost reason, Your Honor, I would like to represent myself is that I get to ask questions in my own behalf. The prosecution gets to talk to me directly on the gross violation of the First Amendment, sir, and that's where I'm having an issue, is that my lawyers aren't wanting to represent me, and that's why I choose to represent myself, to present the briefs and a rebuttal affidavit that my attorney never gave me the opportunity to present.
wait just a second. Why don't we do this? I've got a ton of cases on the calendar this morning. I at least want you to talk to Mr. Zollinger one time before you decide for sure not to have an attorney, okay?
Yes, sir. I can do that.
So meet with Mr. Zollinger. If you still want to represent yourself, I will.
Hang on. I'm going to show you how this all happened. It's a crazy ride, man. I mean, the way these fuckers treat us. This is what they arrested me for. You're blah blah blah. That's my lawyer. I'm firing him. But what I'm saying, this happened over a year and a half ago, and I'm dragging my feet. I fired lawyers left and right, and I'm telling them, you know what, man, I don't even live in your state. You know what I mean? I don't. I'm a Washington resident, right? And I have to go back and forth. I got charged here in Walla Walla. This was for San Joaquin.
Yes. What? Are you trusting me? No, I'm standing here. Move back. Okay, then what's this guy like that? I'm not moving. I'm not moving. Are you recording us? You can back up. I don't have to move. I was already here. No, I was here. I'm gonna fucking hit you, dude. Okay, so get down. Get off me. No, get off me, dude. Shit, fuck you. I'm recording you. You're touching me.
Okay, I'm not in jail. Here's the follow-up. This happened on February 17, 2022. I'm not in jail. Here's the follow-up, right? I'm fighting. I'm fighting Walla Walla. I'm fighting Spokane, man. And I mean, I'm putting a challenge out there. I've already talked to Drag D the other day. I'm not trying to challenge him because he's the baddest motherfucker I ever met. But I'm trying to show, man, that I ain't doing anything wrong, man. I'm saying that, you know what, I could go to the courthouse and they're going to respect me. And if they don't have a reason to talk to me, I'm going to tell them, like, and here's a, oh my goodness, there's just so much going on in the world. And you would think they would have better things to do with their life, you know, but truth be told, you know what, they like harassing us. They get off on it. Here's a different angle of what happened.
Yes, I am.
They got me grounded, man.
Back up. I'm recording you.
Look, they tried to take our phone.
For him, not for you guys. This is not for you. No. No. What? I didn't get his stuff. We'll do it in two.
She's a little bit slow. I'm sorry, my cameraman isn't as fast as I would like her to be. But she works really cheap for kisses. Don't you work for kisses? Only for me.
No, just stand back, please. I didn't get his stuff. We'll do it in two. We will get it. Don't turn his phone off. Don't turn his phone off. Hand it to me.
Okay, so my name's Sergeant Boss.
She's like,
Do you have a court date or a reason to meet her today?
She came in here.
they're trying to trespass her too now.
Yes, we were going to pay it.
What fine is that from?
Okay, we gotta go back here. We got a shitload of videos. And now that we're editing all these, I mean, there's so many. And I mean, I could go on and on, man. I mean, I got a lot of precedents. I got a friend that works for, what's it called? Constitutional Alternatives. Man, he's like one of the best paralegals I've ever met, man. I'm telling you guys, ever need help. I'm hoping Sam Joaquin will pick this one up too. Direct D or any of these guys, man, and show my videos out, man, because you know what? Us that have legal minds, right? We have to be like the Freedom Riders. We have to be like Rosa Parks, man. We have to challenge them through civil disobedience. I don't know if you understand what the dynamic of what civil disobedience is, right? But we have too many people out there that are doing, they're spreading propaganda and mixed messages, and they're arresting us for being somewhere lawfully. I got RCW 8.8510. We're going to go with that one. Accommodations, authorized private way if necessary, chapter of private way. But if you go to the other one, right, and I mean, they all tie into each other. And how do they tie to each other? Revised Code of Conduct. This is Washington. I don't know what your state says about it, but if you go to in Washington, so it says right here, this chapter is enacted. This chapter enforces a manner that emphasizes voluntary compliance with laws. It's authorized any, and this is number 9. Any constitutionally protected action or speech is excluded from forbidden behavior or regulation in this chapter. And what people don't understand is that you need to learn the Code of Conduct and trespass from county facilities. Every state is different. But they have laws written down. And you need to carry a copy of it, a screenshot of it in your phone if you're going to be an auditor. That way you can present it to them. Look, you don't have the right, because it says purpose and authority, and the purpose and authority of application, definitions, authority to issue trespass warning, right? But if you are somewhere where you're allowed to do, and this is for this whole, right here, right? Code of Conduct and trespass from county facilities. Right? Number 9 says specifically, any constitutionally protected action or speech is excluded from the forbidden behavior regulated in this chapter. Now, I don't know if people understand what that means. That it means that if you're at a courthouse doing what you're allowed to do lawfully, they can't even talk to you. But that being said, again, I went to court today, and I had a lot of fun. For the simple fact,
Probably allow that at our next. Do you understand that you'd be held to the same standard as an attorney?
yes, sir.
And where that can get tricky.
They're lying to us, man. They're telling us, because we have Google, man, and people need to start realizing that as long as you know what to ask for, man, so you got to specifically learn what, again, I don't know what state you guys are in, but in Washington, it's the Revised Code of Washington, right? In Idaho, it's IDOC, but that's the Idaho Department of Correction, but they have Idaho Rules of Procedure, Criminal Procedure 1 and 2, their Code of Conduct. Every state designs their layout different, but they have to have one consistency. The numbers are the same, right? So if you go look up Title 18 in your state, for instance, I'm going to do this. What is Title 18 of RCW in the state of Washington? If it'll answer me. Business and professionals, right? But if you go, what is Title 18 out of the state of Idaho?
According to Idaho legislature, idaho.gov, Title 18 Crimes and Punishments. Criminal laws applicable to out-of-state prisoners and personnel of private correctional facilities.
Every state has, their titles are different, you know what I mean? But if you know it, so it's like, what are the code of conduct rules for trespassing in the state of Idaho? Right? House Bill, no person shall tap, take, or means of public blah, blah, blah. Right? But if you learn how to, what are the code of conduct rules for California? What code of conduct rules for law enforcement in the state of California?
According to mbc.edu, I will maintain honesty of word and deed. I will act with integrity at all times, keeping my private life unsullied as an example. I will be exemplary in obeying the laws of the land and regulations of the department.
What are the code of conduct rules for Arizona for officers? What are the code of conduct rules for officers in the state of Arizona? So I see Direct D, and whew, so let's go to YouTube today. I'm probably going to get banned for monetary, for... Oh my goodness, I love this fool right here. I do, I love him.
When you come to a police station to pick up property that was stolen from you.
Again, I haven't figured out the whole rule behind, right, but this is all for entertainment and news purposes, and I am a reporter for the Truth Movement, blah, 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 whatever. But that being said, watching these individuals go into, well, let's look.
By the police.
I've been watching your video. I never see it. I'll be sitting by my phone waiting for the notification. So.
This brings back a lot of memories, guys. A lot of memories. I was arrested right here.
Do you remember those words for us who are auditors? I was arrested right here. It's a common theme. When are we going to rise up, man? They're bringing people from the Ukraine and from every other country from the other side of the world, man, and they're bringing them to our nation. And I really don't care, man, because I'm poor, right? So I really don't care if they bring more people over here, poor or not. It sucks when they bring them over here and they give them things that they won't even allow us to have. And then if you have a homeless person sleeping under a bridge and the cops run up on him and take the only blanket that's keeping him warm, so he has to keep moving, that's kind of disingenuous and rude, if you ask me.
Hey, what's up, guys? Long Island Audit here. Back again with another video.
Okay, because I am a comedian and I'm a shit talker, right? Have you ever heard that saying, it's rain? Don't worry about it. It's just rain. But in truth, it's really somebody peeing on you. But it's like they tell you, don't worry about it. It's just rain. No, man. I see your dick in your hand. You're pissing on me. Well, that's what the cops do to us all the time. They're saying, hey, look, I can come on your property anytime I want. But you can't come on your property whenever you want. Right? This is what cops do. Where we fuck up. And I love Long Island audits. But is he helping the cause? Hell yeah, he is. Right? Because we all do what we're going to do. I know that I've tried what he's done and ended up with the same results. Right? But then there's other people that do what we do and they don't get arrested.
Hey, we're at the Waterbury Police Department here in Waterbury, Connecticut. We are here today to pick up my cell phone and my GoPro that was stolen from me on May 19th, 2021. I am extremely excited. I will also be giving the GoPro away to one of...
Okay, wait. Look, I'm gonna do something. I don't know if this is legal to do it, but I'm gonna do it because where's DirectD? Where? Oh, here, I don't mind you guys seeing all my subscription. There's DirectD right here, right?
Unless I'm in your custody. You don't give a about me. You don't care about me. You don't want your house.
That's not the one I'm talking about.
You know what? I don't need you to protect me. What up, everybody? Howdy, folks.
I gotta go ahead.
I had court today in Tempe, if you didn't know. They really
Okay, let's
didn't
pause him. The intent required. Read this and tell me if it pertains. This is me. I'm the Truth Movement, as you guys know, right? I'm a reporter, man. But 2.5 years ago, man, I was making $50,000. Well, I was making a lot of money. I was working for Gin State Processing, right? But man, there's a lot of meth heads, blah blah blah. So we're gonna fast forward. I decided I was gonna go live under a bridge because I knew that I could. I mean, this is my life.
For example, in a jury.
And I guess today's sharing time, right? So I'm gonna go to my post. Oh, not here. How do I do that, babe?
What?
Hang on, right here. No, bet. No. 19. Oh, come on. I'm trying to find. Let's go with, no. Yeah, we're going to go with 6. Okay. Done. This is me. But, so we go back further. Oh, come on. Damn it. We got I'm losing my mind. It won't let me go back any further. Well, I was going to show you my first arrest in 2019 for being under a bridge. And this little old man coming up harassing me. I wasn't even in his parking lot, man. I was on the curb under a bridge, right? Because, I had nowhere else to go. I gave up on life. People were disingenuous. It's terrible. It was a terrible time in my life. The intent required for a conspiracy to defraud government is that the defendant possess the intent to defraud, make false statements, or representation to the government or its agent, property of the government, or the defendant performed acts, made statements being knew to be false, fraudulent, or deceitful to a government agency which disrupts the function of the agency of the government. It is sufficient for the government to prove that defendant knew the statements were false and fraudulent. So when a police officer comes up and he knows what he's doing is fraudulent and a lie, it's called a conspiracy when 2 or more, and you know how they always call backup, right? When they call backup, they're calling somebody in to reinforce the fraudulent lie they started out on the first part. And because they do that, You don't even, it says the government is not required to prove the statements ultimately resulted in any actual loss to the government of any property or fund. Only that the defendant's activities impeded or interfered with the legitimate government functions. So DirectD took a liking to it, man. And he's like, he tells me straight up, you know what? He asked me, can you add could you add more to your initial question? Looks like it may have some merit to me, but I'm no lawyer. Right? So he tells me to send him a message or an email. Right? And here's me, right here. And he even gave me a link. One day I'm hoping to have 1,000 subscribers or more. Fuck, when I first started, thanks to San Joaquin, he put me out on my show. I had 6 subscribers. And thanks to him, I've shot up to 300. And maybe if you guys like and subscribe and this makes any sense to anybody, and you guys are serious, I have friends, man. I did a lot of prison time. And I got paralegal friends, man, that will file any brief. It costs money. You know, you got to pay for the paperwork and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing this out there, man. God bless.